So hello friends, this is Hiram Joshi, your Gyani buddy for today. And now we are going to discuss about a very popular topic called as linked list. Linked list is a very basic and required to be learned topic amongst computer science and software engineering students. It is also a basic topic for all further data structures, and it also gives rise to a large amount of commonly asked interview questions. So along with just a curriculum part for many, it is also a very interesting topic. So friends, let us start with linked list today. एक बार करो और हमेशा याद रखो. So in linked list topic, what all things are we going to cover? So I have enlisted all the subtopics that we will cover under linked list. So the first one will be the first over concept of pointer. Second will be node of linked list. Third will be linked list. Fourth will be pros and cons of a linked list and using in linked list. And the fifth one will be why should we learn linked list. So before you start with linked list, there is a lot of problem, and this problem is always occurred by students who have just joined computer engineering or software courses. And the problem is it starts with the knowledge of pointer. So what exactly is pointer? Why is this data structure even useful? Why do we use it anywhere in C or in C++ or anywhere in our programming language? So the problem is we start with C and C++ in our coding, and then linked list is taught in these languages. So us to learn what is pointer, and I will cover this for you. Second one is node of linked list. Node is nothing but since we have a list, there will be a list of items. So what will be one particular item? So it is fixed and its data structure is called as node. It can be covered using a class or a structure or a union, etc. It could be anything. But always remember, node is just one item of a list, and then linked list is the connected list of such nodes. And pros and cons and the reason why we learn linked list, I will cover it further. So I have a little brother, and he told me this line of code, and he did not understand a single bit of it. The line says int star p, and he literally wrote this. I am bro, what the hell do we do with this? So the first thing that you need to know about this int star p is where you start your study of pointers. So let us look at that. First thing you need to know about pointer is that it is simplest data type in C and C++. Many of the times people are very confused about what exactly pointer is. So pointer is nothing but a very simple data structure in C or C++. It will always occupy just 4 bytes or 8 bytes depending upon your compiler, and it all starts with memory management. Like, I hope you understand how memory is stored in RAM. Like, each byte of memory is addressed using some address. Thus pointer is nothing but the data type that contains this address of a memory location. So now maybe I store an integer or a character or a float. I assume that you know all of these have a specific number of bytes assigned to them because they are primitive data types and they cannot be changed. So they occupy some primitive space in our memory. So the address at which a particular integer is stored, it will be pointed by a pointer. Like, the address has some name, like we will discuss it later. The address convention is expressed using hex numbers. So that big hex number is actually stored in this star p data type. So let us see an example. We have written the line int star p. This line has created a pointer p. Like, p is the name of the pointer. It is nothing more than that. And it has access to some available memory location in RAM. Like, p can iterate throughout the RAM. Like you must have learned in memory management that certain types of data types have access over all the memory locations. Then p is one of those types. All the memory location that is available for the user or the kernel to be used, it is available to p. Suppose the hex address is available to be assigned to some variable, and it says as I have highlighted in the yellow marks, and it is not used by any integer yet. Then simply that memory address will be assigned to p. Like, when we declare int star p, then this given address will be stored in p. Like, if you do C out and you like the left shift operator and write P, then you will give this as output if this address is assigned. Otherwise, some address of similar convention will be shown. What is the star operator? Star is nothing but it gives you the content of the memory location which is pointed by P. Like suppose P is pointing to some memory location as given in here and it contains integer 3. Then star P will return you this integer 3. Similarly, if it has value 0, then it will return 0 to us. Then there are some notes that you should make right here, which is P has information regarding the location of some integer and star P gives you the value of the integer. Just remember one thing, that P contains nothing but the starting address of a particular data type, be it user defined data type or be it primitive data type. It just contains the starting address of it. It's nothing more than that. Now let us take another example where we actually see what will be happening in a linked list. So here we declare node star P. Node is the item which is commonly used in a linked list, and star P is a pointer which can point to certain variable where the variable can have a type node. This linked list has created a pointer P with access to some available memory location in the RAM. Suppose the hex address is as given in the yellow highlight and it occupies 15 bytes after that. Just note the first bullet in this slide, user defined data type, and we assume that this class takes 15 bytes. So after the hex address as highlighted in the yellow highlight, the 15 bytes after that will be accessible to this pointer P. So if you return this value of P in the form of P itself, not by assigning some operator like star to it, you will get to see this value, and when you iterate it, it will iterate 15 bytes ahead of itself always because its type is node. Simple, right? So again there are two notes that you should make here. P has information regarding the starting location of some object of class node. Like if the class like the object occupies 15 bytes, then of course you cannot have one pointer which can address to all 15 bytes altogether because every byte has a different pointer, right? So the starting location of that class or the object, its location will be stored in P. And once you access this location through P, the whole object can be addressed throughout. That is the speciality of C and C++ pointer concept. So if you are having linked list in your exam, like a practical exam, and the Viva person comes in front of you and he will definitely ask you the following questions, so you should be ready for that as far as I think. So the size of pointer is fixed, like these are the points that you should remember. Size of pointer is fixed and it depends upon the system and the compiler what will be the size of your pointer. If you are using a 64-bit compiler, then 8 bytes. If you are using 32-bit compiler, then 4 bytes. If you need information about the type of the compiler, just type in your compiler's name like G++ or GNU and give a space and type in /v. It will give you all the information that you require. Can a pointer be assigned address of some existing variable? The answer is yes. And how can we do that? Since look at the first line of this code, int a equals to 8. That is, we have declared and defined an integer a and its value is 8. Then we declare a new pointer of type integer which will point to some integer and its name is b. So if you want to assign b the address of a, then b equals to and a. And operator returns to you the address of any memory variable, be it pointer or be it any other data type. For example, if you declare another variable and if you assign to it the value and b, then it will give you the address of where the pointer is actually stored, our pointer b. So that's it, and just returns to you the address of a particular memory variable. So when you assign and a to b and you take star b, then star b will return you the value 8, which is the value of a, and if you output b, then it will give you the address of a. And further, one more thing, what does the type of pointer resemble? Since pointer is fixed and it has always a fixed amount of bytes assigned to itself, which is 4 or 8 dependent upon compiler, why does the type of a pointer matter? The answer is pointer's type tells us the variable how many bytes of memory should it access at a time. Since pointers are iterable, if you assign a node pointer and you create a node array, you can iterate the whole array node by node through that pointer, just like you iterate through arrays. That's the only reason why a pointer needs to have a particular type. So let us go further and see what is exactly the node of a linked list. So we will go through the theory of node and what's its actual implementation and how does it actually matter. Node is one item in the linked list. List has all items of same type. Just remember this point, that whenever you have a linked list and it should have a particular class, and if the class is fixed, the node of the type of each item inside the class is fixed. That is why node always has a singular type. Node has two sections, data and a link. Node is always divided into two sections. One contains the data, which is like unrequired or updatable information, and the other one is link. Data forms the section that contains information to be stored, and link is the most important section of the node. It in a single linked list, link as popularly abbreviated as next. So whenever you go into next slide and you will view this next pointer concept, then always remember next is the link section that we are talking about. It contains the starting address of the successive item in the list. Highlight this point and just remember for the next slide that the link contains the address of the next item. So size of node, it's a Viva question. Just remember, size of a node is always the size of data plus 8 or 4. And now since you have gone through the previous slides correctly, you remember 8 or 4. Why is this so? The way we declare a class, the same way we will declare a node, and here is an example for you. It contains integer x, character a with array size 30, float with name p, and the node star next. The first three data types are nothing but the data section, and the node star next is nothing but the link section. If you want to view it, just pause the video for a while because it's important for the next video. So friends, now we are down to linked list. The list of such nodes is called as linked list, but is it a normal list? Like we can have these node objects in an array, but is this array of objects similar to list? The answer is no. You can view array of objects as similar to a thing where you have to buy apples and all the apples are placed in the same basket, and you just have to pick 1 and 2 and just go on and fill your basket with apples and just pay and go away from the supermarket. But here a concept the thing is a bit different. You can visualize it in this way. Your parents send you to a supermarket with a list and it tells you where the apples are. So all you need to know is where the apples are. So you go to the apples counter, you buy apples, and the stickers of the apple have written on them where the shampoos are located. So you go to the shampoos counter, then the shampoo tells you where is oil located. Then from oil you get to know where is Chocos located, and from Chocos you get to know about Dio. And then Dio tells you that your list is over, you should exit shopping now. Pay and go. So it's quite a simple example that I have just told you, that apples know about shampoo, shampoo about oil, oil about Chocos and Dio. And if you still cannot visualize it, let us see its visualization. So here is the same example in the visualized form. Every linked list has a head pointer which points to the first node of the list, and from that first node you can iterate the whole list, and it's the same example or the same concept that I have visualized for you. The head pointer knows about the apples. Apples has its own node. The node has link section, and the link section contains where the shampoo is located. Then you go to shampoos counter. Then the shampoos link section contains the address of oil. Then oils link section contains the address of Chocos. Chocos next pointer points to Dio. Dio's pointer points to null. So what is this null pointer? Null pointer is nothing but a pointer which says that this pointer, like the Dio's next pointer, points to nothing. C, C++ and all the languages that we have allow this provision for us that we can assign our reference or pointer to null, which means the pointer is pointing to nothing. In linked list, it can be used for detecting that the list is now empty or the list has now ended. So you would like to know now what is exactly happening here. Like, is there any technical explanation? Yes, the answer is very simple. Each shopping item in a node is a node of a linked list. Say we have the same node class as before that we have discussed. It contains integer x and the x represents item quantity, like the count of items that we buy. Suppose it's 4 apples or etc. A represents the item name, like apples or shampoo or etc. written on it. P represents the item price, like the per item or per quantity price of the item. And all of these fall under the data section of the node. The address of next node is written on current node, so next contains the address of next node, that is next points to next item in the list. Quite a confusing line, right? But it's a simple thing. Let's go back on the previous slide. As you can see here, the head pointer points to apples, and apples next section will contain the address of shampoo. So in the linked list, all you need to know is about the head pointer, like where the head is pointing. The head always points to the first item, so you need to know the starting item's address, and that is stored by head. Now the next item, that is, you know about apples, but now you need to go towards shampoo. So shampoo's address is stored in next pointer of apples. So that is how the first or the current item's link section, this is our current item, it has a link section, and this link contains the address of the next item. That's what we have been discussing in the next slide. If you want to view this slide for a bit more, I'll pause. You can pause the video and we will go for the next concept, which is pros and cons of linked list. So now, looking at the exam point of view and Viva point of view, you just want to cover these questions, and they are very simple. Pros of linked list. Unlike arrays in C or C++ or Java, linked list has dynamic size. This means size needs not be declared in the code. Like, it is not statically given or it is not written inside the code. You can manipulate linked list anytime and any way you want. Dynamic size means size can be manipulated at any time, which is what I just discussed. So linked list can have size 0 or 1000 at the end of program. But the twist is, to have size 1000, array needs this memory reserved. Like, you need to write it inside the code that array can have 1000 size, which is int a, and in square brackets you write 1000, which means array can occupy 1000 like integer elements, and it's in this way the memory for array is reserved. But in case of linked list, this does not happen. Linked list has zero load of shifting, insertion or deletion operation. Array has finite load. In case where we see the implementation point of view of linked list in the further videos, we will discuss about this there. Linked list makes implementation of other data structures simple. The data structures like stack, queue, and other further versions of linked list like singly linked list, doubly linked list, or even advanced data structures like tree and different versions of tree, they are made simple using linked list. So if you want to learn a lot about data structures, linked list is the basic and you cannot skip it. Also, there are certain cons of linked list. So unlike array, we cannot use indices to access an element directly. Arrays having indices makes it simple to access the element in a faster way, but this cannot happen in linked list. Linked list increases the size of user-defined data type. Like, since in array data structure we need not have the pointer or the link section as our node has, so the link section increases the storage, like size of the node in storage point of view. Linked list manipulates size of program at runtime. Array does not. Like the program size when we are using array, since it is statically defined, it is fixed. But in case of a program which uses a linked list, it is not fixed. It can occupy the whole RAM if it wants, or even the minimum size which is required for the program to run. Linked list has fewer applications than array in real-time world in data storage point of view. Like in the real-time world today, we use SQL or relational databases. None of them actually uses or implements linked list for storage point of view. Like all of those applications are using the concept of array, and linked list is actually not used there. It's just used in certain applications or programs which are operated at runtime on the RAM. Otherwise, linked list cannot be seen anywhere. List has data spread over the RAM, so it is hard to debug the contents of a list. If you want to debug your program and see what the contents of your linked list are, it is very difficult since you do not know what exactly where the items are situated in a linked list. Since in a list you only know where the next item is situated and not the whole list. In the case of array, you know all the items are situated from a particular array starting location. So thank you for having patience and learning about linked list so far, the theoretical concept. And now to wrap up, we will learn why should we learn linked list. Linked list makes implementation of other important data structures simpler and efficient. As we have discussed, linked list is the basic data structure which you need to learn for stack, queue or tree implementation. Linked list is a very useful option for arrays if you have to store data that will keep changing continuously. Like if your array has a very liquid prospect, like the data inside the array keeps on changing very frequently, then linked list can be a better option. And as we have discussed, linked list has very little load on insertion and deletion. That's what the concept makes it easier for linked list to have its property of liquidity. Linked list is the first and basic data structure which supports dynamic size and different ways to hold data. Knowledge of linked list is very important to understand all other data structures, be it simple or advanced, just as we discussed in the first bullet of this slide. Linked list questions are very popular in aptitude test and technical interviews. So make sure that whenever you are opting for an aptitude test in an interview, be it internship or be it a fresher job, linked list is a concept that you should cover, because the questions in linked list are very popularly asked by the interviewers. And like, even though it's very popular, sometimes students like us fail to do that, and maybe you have to like reiterate a lot of interviews just because of linked list. So make sure that this does not happen. So guys, now we will conclude, and at the end I would say is like, comment and share this video with your peers. Grow the knowledge of linked list, and if you have any doubts, please enter your doubts in the comments, and keep the track of Candy-Buddy. We will certainly post the more videos related to linked list in the next upcoming sections. So for now, thank you, bye bye, and take care.